The map may be green, but unfortunately I don't think it favours the war boss in this matchup. Today, we've got Grantovich playing as a war boss. He's going to be fighting Dingus Khan and his Warp Spider Exarch. Now, Warp Spider Exarch on this map, kind of insane. It's probably one of the best Warp Spider Exarch maps in the game. Firstly, Eldar. Eldar likes safe gen farms. I would say the gen farms here on this map, pretty damn safe. It's kind of difficult to do a sneaky gen bash. You can kind of do it, but really the opponent should be privy to it. It's not that exposed. Secondly, Warp Spider Exarch can exploit all these garrisons that are everywhere. The very orky looking garrisons carved into the side of a mountain. Absolutely load of garrisons to use. Warp Spider Exarch being a ranged teleporting hero is very good at that, and then there's a lot of shot blockers as well, or sort of immovable terrain that you can teleport through, like these tree lines, the buildings, this chasm here. And most importantly, this chasm here as well. Teleporting from here to here can be very, very effective. But we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, it's going to be doing annoying things already. Is that Warp Spider getting into the garrison? So the counter would be the burners on the sluggers, but even then it's kind of mid. Trying to tell if that's just the basic damage or if he's got a war gear already. I guess that's just the basic damage. Now Dingus going for a very fast shuriken here, but it is going to leave his gem farm pretty vulnerable. I was just going to say, not really much value in keeping the Banshees stood there when there's double shooters firing at them. They're not going to be able to achieve anything, and now there's burner sluggers too. Wow, and Grantovich is going to fully commit to this, rotating the war boss over as well. Jeez. Some cool looking guardians here. What is this skin? I don't know. I don't know what that skin is. Is this like Harlequin skin? Okay, the Warp Spider Exarch just got chain knocked back. That was very unlucky. Obviously, he was trying to teleport away, but if you get unlucky and the enemy just keeps proccing special attacks, well, you're going to keep getting knocked over. And if you're knocked over, you can't teleport. But, yeah, I mean, he delayed long enough for the shuriken to come out and secure the farm, or at least what remains of it. Didn't manage to take out the power node. Only one gen, so yeah, actually, if Dingus didn't lose his Warp Spider Exarch, then I'd say he'd be in an amazing spot right now. Losing the spider sets him back quite a lot, because now he's repurchased that, right? That was 250 rec that could have just built 2 generators here. Honestly, could have even built a gen over here if he wanted to go full fast tech madness, but, you know, he's going to be quite delayed now. We'll see how he fares. Now, in contrast, we've got the 3rd gen coming up for Grantovich. He's gone for a lot of upgrades on his shooters. 2 big shooters and 1 shooter knob. We'll see how they do. Shooters can be pretty damn effective versus Eldar. They're all light infantry in tier 1. So the high levels of piercing DPS doesn't hurt. You just gotta deal with the shuriken. So one option that he has is he could go for the charge on the war boss. What's it called? The angry bits. You could try and use that. It's not ideal. You don't really want to face charge into the opponent. And the other problem with the angry bits, relying on that to counter the shuriken, is the Warp Spider. Oh, he's already got it anyway. Heavy gauge Death Spinner. Tooltip needs updating. It doesn't add knockback to the Warp Spider's ranged attack, but it stuns. You see it being used right there, stunning that boy. But you can't target which model it stuns. It literally just changes his basic attack, and obviously when you click a squad you can't choose who you shoot, he just attacks a random model. But if you use that specifically to counter the war boss when he's charging in, that could be very effective. So you obviously bait him into charging the shuriken and then stun him when he's very close. And then the shuriken rips him to pieces. So instead, you could see the boss ball. Now what the boss ball allows you to do, it gives suppression resistance, so you can't stand in the shuriken, it's not suppression immunity, but you can cycle 2 shooter boys forward and pull them back one by one. And you'll get a little bit of fire, a little bit of time to shoot, without getting suppressed. Now that generally can be quite effective against shurikens in the open, but with energy shields and green cover, it's probably not going to be that effective. But Grantovich just doesn't care. Okay, he does care. He's getting a Stormboy squad. Super, super late Stormboy squad. Greedy there from Dingus to throw that grenade like that. Lucky to not lose a model. Wow. Very lucky. He deserves to lose a lot for that. Should have just fleeted away, rather than going for the telegraphed grenade. I mean, shooters not really achieving a whole lot here. They will scale well. Wow, Dingus has gone for the 4th gen. See, he could have got that ages ago then. So his eco is a little bit messed up. It should be alright here. He has the stun, right? Oh, here comes the Storm Boys. Not going after the Shuriken, however, they'll have the energy for another jump soon. Banshee's nearly catching the Warboss on retreat here, not going to be quite good enough. And yeah, the Orcs will bash this gen. What the Banshee's doing, they're rotating to the natural farm of Grantovich. Both players going tier 2 at the same time. So that doesn't really bode well for Dingus, does it? Only having 3 squads and still going to tier 2 at the same time. But he does have more requisition, and of course he did lose his spider. Maybe a little bit of a premature retreat there on the shooters. Probably could have backed off a little bit. Bought a bit more time. I mean, Warboss is pretty much ready to go now. Go out and start fighting those Shis. And again, shooters, I feel like the shooter play here is a little bit lazy actually. Like right there, he could have just left the green cover. Why did he have to stay around for so long? You know? He could have kept the pressure on, stayed in the field. Just sort of sat in the green cover. Okay, he bled a shuriken model. Fine. But he lost map control. It's going to be a Warp Spider squad. First thing for Dingus. Interesting that that's not from the global bar. He should have the red at 125 plus. Maybe he wants double Warp Spiders. We'll see. Double Warp Spiders can actually be pretty legit. I mean, it's actually enough damage just from the haywires to kill the basic truck if you get the rear armor. And the sheer amount of piercing DPS that can output is kind of insane. We'll see. A Death Dread would be decent counterplay. Oh, I don't like this fight from Grantovich. He uses the use your choppers and the ad boys, and that will cause the Storm Boys to kick the Banshee's ass, but the Warp Spiders are there pew-pewing the whole time. Now, Dingus shouldn't have took that fight with the Shis. Should have backed off with the Shis a long time prior. All you need to do is suppress them with a washout, move away, and then output your DPS with the Spiders. Speaking of the Spiders, they got the Crackshot ability using them from the Warp Spider Exarch. So that's bonus range and damage, but nice screening there with the Warboss. Just buying time. Obviously the Warboss doesn't bleed. Buying a lot of time for the Sluggers to get their bashing. They would technically be bashing faster with their burners. I don't know why he's not doing that. Again, lazy play. But poor setup really from the Guardian Weapons team, not really covering things. But again, I don't know why he's walking the shooters forward like this. He could have put on a lot more pressure by keeping them back, messing the shuriken around. As long as Warp Spiders are out of cover, they will trade cost effectively with shooters. Now, to be fair, Warp Spiders teleport, so they shouldn't really be out of cover very often. But something to think about. It's going to be a truck for Grantovich and a second Warp Spider squad for Dingus, as expected. Well, yeah, I wouldn't go the truck against this. I'd go for a Death Dread. And you probably want a Weird Boy too. How do you counter spiders? Well, you need to make sure they're not in cover. So you've got your Storm Boys who can jump to make them teleport. But what you actually do is use Bomber Boys to make them teleport, because the Bomber Boys does knockback, and Bomber Boys plus 2 shooters will rip Warp Spiders to pieces. So they often teleport to dodge your Bomber Boys, then you can teleport on top of them. Well, not teleport, jump on top of them with your Storm Boys. And then the other counter is to get the Weird Boy, because his passive attacks do really high damage and they do knockback, so you can knock the spiders out of cover. So often they will have to teleport to dodge your Weird Boy attacks, and then you can jump them with Storm Boy. Or at least you can get them out of cover. That would also counter the Shuriken. And I'm not sure really what the Wartruck's going to achieve here. I feel like, you know, what you can do, stand and trade with shooters versus Warp Spiders, Guardsman style. That's a great way to run out of requisition and give the Eldar enemy a shitload of XP. I don't like it. Now, supporting the Sluggers and the Storm Boys, sure, it's got more utility there. He's also got the reinforced armor plating, so he's no longer going to die to a couple of haywires. But there is the heavy melee Banshee Exarch as well. It's kind of a scary situation. Oh, here come the double haywires. Oh, it's dead. It's dead. It can't move, double haywires, and it's dead. Brilliant. So that's why you go the Death Dread. At least the Death Dread is more resilient. It's got more HP. It can actually fight back in melee. It's got melee resist. I mean, yeah, just absolutely annihilated. Oh, he gets the boss pole at last. He's also gone for the enhanced custom shooter, attempting to suppress the Shuriken. Not really very reliable, because you can't actually choose which model in the squad you suppress. But I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like that's really late. Why would you be getting that in tier 2 at this point? Yeah, Grantovich's builds here are terrible. He shouldn't be getting that. Why is he going for another shooter as well? He's trying to outshoot the Warp Spiders. This is a terrible, terrible idea. You need to counter their ability to take cover, because otherwise they teleport. They will always have a cover advantage. You know, if they ever encounter a firefight with shooters, they just teleport such that they can negate the shooter's cover and that they're in cover. That's going to give them a massive advantage. You know, you can't even melee them when they've got the upgrade, because the Exarch in the squad has power blades. So he can take on the knob leader of the shooter boys quite easily. And yeah, Grantovich is just going to bleed. You don't take a ranged firefight with these guys unless you can negate their cover, which requires Storm Boys and Weird Boy. I really think a Weird Boy would be the play here, and I find this custom shooter quite weird. I just don't think it's gonna be that impactful right now. So one of the shoot boys just got shredded in the middle. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. If they had double teleport into melee, that could be a dead squad. Never mind Crackshot, which wasn't even used. I mean, I've got to say, guys, traditionally, double Warp Spiders, an amazing asset against both Orcs and Tyranids. It's funny because you never see them versus the Marines. The piercing damage just is not very good. You know, they're just useless at trading with tax or CSM or anything like that. So you never see them. But against the lighter infantry factions like Tyranids and Orcs, they just dominate. Because, you know, until tier 3, these guys are basically anti-everything. Until Knobs come out, until Flash Gits come out, you know, the heavy infantry options for the Orcs, these guys basically count the entire tier 2. Not, you know, like I say, Weird Boy and Storm Boys give you some options. Definitely give you some options, but you've got to play it more intelligently. It's not just A moving. That's the problem, I guess. And I'm afraid Grantovich here hasn't really figured that one out, it seems. Actually, kind of quite a dominant game. I don't know if he somehow makes a comeback here. I'm hoping he does to some extent, because otherwise this would have been quite a stomp looking at the VPs with Dingus having so many VPs off this double spider play. Maybe Grantovich stalls out on the VP somehow. And let me just say, I don't really know how Grantovich right now is ahead in VPs. Like, how? Against the Eldar? Seems strange. Man, look at that even there. You had Swamp him, giving damage resistance, the ability from the Slug Knob, and then Ardboys as well, and it's just irrelevant. Still forced off. That was a good jump to dodge the grenade. You get that little bit of damage resist when you're in the jump, but yeah, this is this is sad. You can't do anything. I mean, you've got to fight in a blob. You can't just send squads in 1v1 against dual warp spiders. Jesus. That's really quite a terrible idea. What I'm thinking might happen is maybe Grantovich can somehow stall out, get a commando squad, use Love the Daka, and then maybe rocks the spiders? No, that's never going to happen. He's not got a red. I don't know, man. I feel like Grantovich just loses right now. Kind of a super dominant gameplay here. This second shooter, well, third shooter, was a terrible, terrible idea. But so was the truck. The truck and the shooter, like all of Grantovich's tier 2 made no sense. Getting the custom shooter and the boss pole, not worth it. Probably worth it in tier 1. Not worth it in tier 2. There's way more important things. Weird Boy, Death Dread, not the war truck, and and Blob a lot. I definitely don't buy another squad of shooters to try and out-trade warp spiders in a ranged firefight. You see, look, they instantly get that cover advantage. That's the power of the teleport. So you like do some little mathematical stats and you're like, oh, warp spiders aren't that bad. Yeah, they do a lot of damage, but they're really squishy. But it doesn't tell the reality of the situation, because in reality they always have the cover advantage. Look again, bang, behind this little yellow cover, double focus fire onto the shooters, which are firing at the wrong thing, and the shooter gets gibbed. In reality, they're just a lot stronger because of the teleport. Now you see, this isn't too bad of a firefight. This squad's weakened. They're not taking a cover advantage. That one of them needed to teleport behind, but he's probably scared to do that because he doesn't know if any reinforcements are coming. And of course the shooters were in the correct cover in terms of facing. And now we got Seers. There's going to be a looter tank coming out for Grantovich, but I mean, you got double spiders. Looter tank's scary for Eldar. The sheer amount of splash damage and the DPH that it does is pretty terrifying, but still you got double spiders. And now the Seers have killed the fucking war boss, and now the Seers are going to kill the Storm Boys. I like how the Storm Boys shout about stick bombs when they throw the Guardians throw a plasma grenade at them. That was really, really weird. What the hell was that from the Seers? They went, like, 2 models went this way, 2 went that way. Brilliant. Well done, Seers. So what's the plan here, Dingus? Are you just going to wait for a Fire Prism? Fire Prism plus double haywire should make pretty short work of the looter tank. Yeah. You just get the Banshees out of there. They should not be attacking a looter tank without the haywire going off. That's just silly. Yeah, the Banshee's going to wipe right now. Okay, no, they're in retreat. And here are the double spiders outputting that damage. These are level 3 Slugger Boys, bear in mind, with burners. They're not that squishy. This could be painful though, the looter tank shot. Grantovich somehow still holding the 2-1. Nobody knows how. There goes the shot. Quite lucky for the spiders, they were quite separated. He gets the double haywire, but no follow-up. You see, this is the power of the double haywire as well. It immobilizes. It doesn't just snare because the snares stack. Stacking snares. Ooh, I don't know if the Seers can take on Stormboys with Uji Choppers and Ad Boys. Yeah, they're proccing a lot of specials. The Seers don't want that fight. Probably should have just fleeted into the building. I love how the leap in there caused knockback that actually protected the Stormboys from the Guardian Grenade. Well, nice to see the Warboss Globals being useful there at least. Never try to beat a Warboss in melee. I don't think the Banshees can take this fight. No, this is too much damage. Even with the Slugger Knob stunned, it's too much damage. They're wired up of these orcs as well. Anyway, what's going on with the looted? Got double haywired again. Grantovich not repairing the tank. Probably wants to get his sluggers back and repair that damn tank. It's going to die to another dual haywire attack. That tank is not contested right now. Oh, but it's going to be soon with a Fire Prism coming out. This is one of them games where for the players, I don't know who sent it in, but for the players it probably feels pretty intense, but really Dingus is absolutely miles ahead. He's, I don't know, it just feels like he's kind of took his foot off the gas a little bit. But it's okay, he's got loads of VPs, he can chill around a bit, you know, he should play quite conservative right now. It's obviously Grantovich who's got the pressure on him with such few VPs. And that's going to be the dead looted tank from the dual haywires. Well, there you go guys, whoever said warp spiders are useless, or if any of you thought that, I hope this game proves that they're not. Obviously not the highest level game, but they're good. They're niche. Kind of like a lot of Eldar infantry in Tier 2. You know, Wraithguard, if you're fighting IG, Wraithguard can be pretty damn helpful. Or if you're fighting Sky Silver and his turret spams. If you're fighting Tyranids, Fire Dragons can be pretty useful. Certainly if they buy a Tyrant Guard. Fire Dragons can be delicious. But use the Eldar infantry wrong and they just bleed. They're expensive bleeders. Certainly against orcs who want to try and beat you in ranged fights and don't get a weird boy, Warp Spider squads are going to dominate. And the haywire grenades, man. The haywire grenades were responsible for the truck dying, and literally the haywire grenades alone took out the looted tank, even without the prism. So there you go. Poor orc warboss there. Maybe he'll get his revenge one day. Hope you enjoyed that one, folks. That's going to be all for your boy Torpid this time. If you want more, check out the Patreon, leave a comment to support the channel and boost us in that algorithm. Your boy Torpid is signing out.